We have here the chief executives of the Center for Transatlantic Leadership. And before we start the interview, I'd like Dr. Williams, welcome to this evening's program. And Mr. Barry Murphy, good evening. Welcome to this program.
Thank you, Mr. Richard.
First, I would like you to introduce yourself so that I will know.
You know these things, right?
Yeah, I know. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Oh.
You want us to go ahead and
I wanted to go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Okay. So, ladies first.
Ladies first, thank you. I'm Dr. Dorothy Williams. I am the founder of the Center for Transatlantic Leadership and Professional Studies.
I'm Barry Murphy. I'm also the co-founder of Center for Transatlantic Leadership and the Progressive Study. And then I think we have one more person that she couldn't make it, Dr. Stella, but you know, it's okay.
She's also one of the co-founders
Yes.
of this organization.
So, what is this organization? What is it? What is this organization?
This is an organization designed to bridge the gap across the transatlantic.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be able to work with other educators and to share some of our best practices that we use here in the U.S.
Is this an NGO?
Yes, it is. I mean, we say NGO like back home because in Ghana we have registered it as an NGO, and here, like, you know, it's a kind of a foundation, and then we do a lot of stuff. I mean, beside the study, we have a lot of things that is in the pipeline that, you know, y'all get to know of.
Up and coming.
Well, before we go further, would you please let us know what is the vision and the mission of this organization? Dr. Williams.
The mission is to change the world one step at a time for future generations. One of the quotes by Dr. Nunga was, "A world without a vision, it will perish." Our mission, our vision statement is, the vision is to build a community with citizens of lifelong learners and leaders to empower students, leaders, and organizations to take responsibilities for their present and future learning by developing their interpersonal, and technological and academic skills.
Interesting. Well, you are listening to the Voice of the Nation and watching live Voice of the Nation on Facebook. Coming to you from Atlanta, this is Answers with Barry. And tonight we have Dr. Williams and Mr. Barry Murphy. Both of them are founders of the Transatlantic for Leadership, here in the studio with us tonight, and I'll be trying to find out a little bit more about this organization. And why the name Transatlantic for Leadership?
I wish that our other partner was here because she really helped with the name of our organization. We chose the Center for Transatlantic because we're going across the Atlantic. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to transcend, transform educators around the world. We're trying to be that go-between to help fill that gap that's needed with our children, to make sure that our kids in the school are empowered to learn. We're focusing on education right now, but it is going to transcend into business also. To go into business and other organizations where we're going to look at their infrastructure, we're going to look at their organization, and to see how we can do professional learning within different organizations also.
So the name Transatlantic means your mission and vision is to cross the Atlantic.
Yes.
And you know,
all over the world.
Yes.
It's all over the world.
Yes.
But when you say transatlantic, I'm looking at the Atlantic Ocean and Africa, so to say.
Yes.
Well, How long has this organization been in existence?
It's almost a year and some few months, but the funny thing about it is, like, you know, things that we are able to, you know, achieve within the limits of time, we know definitely we will really go far.
So you've been in existence for a year and a half.
Yes,
and,
yes.
What are some of your achievements within this short period of time?
Within this short period of time, we are able to, with the help of the founder, we're able to organize teachers, and then we took them to Ghana, and also, you know, as we took them there, they learned a lot. We helped the community, which is, we went to the Weija community, and it's a kind of
we're doing a longitudinal study with them.
yes.
We plan to visit Weija for the next 3 years. They were our first community, I
Yes.
could say, or township
Community.
that allowed us to come in and to work with their educators. So with them, we're giving them different best practices to use within their schools, and we're going to see how it is working with the teachers.
So
And-
from what you're saying, it means you've already even been to Ghana already. You are already crossed the Atlantic.
Yes, we have.
This year.
This year you did cross the Atlantic.
Yes, we did.
Oh wow! So the objectives are some of the objectives as trying to cross-train teachers in the I would say diaspora, teachers
Yes.
out in Africa to be able to assimilate what you do here with whatever they do over there.
Yes, yes.
There's
But
both.
it has been two ways, because
Both.
as we're going in and we're working with these teachers, we're also learning from them.
Exactly.
And that the teachers are bringing back their experiences and they're sharing it in their community, within their schools, anyone that will listen about these experiences. And I think that it also dispels a lot of the myths and misconceptions that people have about the African people.
Exactly.
You know, and I think that is such an eye-opener, the warm welcoming that we received from the African people.
Yes.
It was just an awesome opportunity. I can't even
And
explain
also
it.
beside that is that we work with the students too, the teachers and the students. I mean, and one thing I also learned out is, like, you know, back home is what the teacher says most is fun now. It's like, you know, they just be teaching them and you just have to write notes. But this, we show them in a way that they can also communicate with the teachers, all of them with the students, like, you know, interrupts, you know, so it helps a lot.
You know, I know every organization have short-term goals and long-term goals. So what are your short-term goals?
Well, our short-term goal was to get at least one community to invite us and to allow us to come in.
And that you have achieved that.
We've
Yes.
achieved that.
Okay.
That someone has really heard our voice, have acknowledged us,
Exactly.
and allowed us to come in and to share our knowledge and our experiences
Yep.
with other teachers.
Yes.
So we have
Yes,
done that.
we do. And then some of the long-term goals, that one is a lot of things in the pipeline. If we start, we ain't gonna finish. But we're also working for other students to be able to come over here. Not the students, excuse me, the teachers to come over here also, like, you know, like cross-training, and then they can also go back to also educate them about what's, you know, the
So your long-term goal achievement is to have an exchange program between teachers here
Yes.
in the
Because
States.
when we were there, teachers asked how could they come and to see it firsthand, these things that we're teaching them. So we have written a proposal, and we're waiting to see if it manifests.
yes,
And
Okay,
if
you know,
not,
in-
we're going to reach out to other counties.
You said you were in Weija.
yes,
The Weija community invited you, and you were there this year. And looking at the class sizes, I know here in the States, to compare the class sizes to what you just see, were you overwhelmed, or were the teachers over there? From your experience, as how do you look at it from that point of view?
The kids are very disciplined. It's not a discipline problem whatsoever. But just when you're walking into a classroom and you see that they have more than 35, 40 kids in a room. Here in the U.S., we can't have more than 32, 36 kids in a room. There was one teacher there that had 100+ kids in her room. but her kids were well behaved. Here we're talking about doing all the things to differentiate the learning. But when you see the kids and they're shoulder to shoulder, they were still looking at every word that this teacher was saying and getting the notes.
So do you think the discipline or the attentiveness of these kids, was it just because you are new to them, or from your experience you think it's how they've been trained or how they've been taught to behave? And
yes. I mean, I think that it's how they've been taught.
Exactly.
I can say that as we were touring another school that some kids did misbehave. But that was just normal to me. But as the teacher was instructing, they didn't miss a beat. They were sitting there and they were actually taking the notes. In fact, we went by one class and there was a little girl up to the board. She was the class perfect.
Okay, prefect.
Perfect. And she was instructing and the kids were sitting there and they were writing the notes. And I asked, I said, "Where's your teacher?" She said, "In your class." You know, and I was really surprised. You know, if that had been in the U.S., I think it would have been very different.
Yeah.
You're
Very
listening to the
different.
Voice of the Nation, or watching Voice of the Nation on Facebook, and it's coming to you, Answers with Barry Live. Stepping in for the co-host, this is Richard, and I'm interviewing Dr. Williams and Mr. Barry Murphy, who are co-founders or founders of the Center for Transatlantic Leadership, and they are here today in the studio here with us and answering some questions. And we take a short break and listen to some music, and then we come back. Yeah, a world without a vision will perish. A world without a vision will perish. You're watching and listening to the Voice of the Nation, coming to you from Atlanta. Here on Facebook, you can visit us at www.voiceofthenation.com, and we have here tonight the founder and co-founders of the Center for Transatlantic Leadership and Training organization here with us, and we are interviewing them. I understand they have been to Ghana and they were very impressed about what happened to them in Ghana compared to what they usually see here in the United States. And now we are here in Atlanta interviewing Dr. Williams and Mr. Barry White. Mr. Barry, Barry Murphy Mr. Barry Murphy.
It's okay. I'm the only black guy reaching Atlanta, so that's alright.
That's a good one.
Okay, Doctor, what has been some of the challenges that you have been tackling since this organization came into being?
Just to give awareness, I think.
Yes.
Just to have people to support what we're doing, to give donations.
Yes, help out. And also, like, you know, as we started, we want people to, like, the first trip was happened very successful. So we want people to believe in us, trust us, that they are in a secure hands. If they want to be part of what we're doing, if they want to go with us, they are in a good hands. And back to the other question about, like, the student, how they behave. Actually, I attended, you know, Cambridge Preparatory, and I went to Asamoah Kese Secondary School. So that's the way, you know, they train us. Even if a teacher is not in the classroom and the prefect is there, if you misbehave, you're gonna be in trouble. So you always have to comport yourself. So that's the way, you know, they're being trained. That's why, like, one teacher can take care of about 100, but as she's saying, yeah, 40 students, they're gonna cause a whole lot of mess. So that's, I mean, just by the way, but about our challenge.
Dr. Williams, let me ask you this question. So you said the teacher was not in the class.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the class prefects who was leading the class. And when you asked the question, where is your teacher? What did he say?
She's in your class.
In your class. So, do you have that kind of system here in the United States that when the teacher is not there, one of the students are delegated to play a leadership role in this aspect?
No, here in the U.S., a teacher is mandated to be in that classroom with the kids at all times. You're never supposed to leave the kids unsupervised. So that's one of the things that was a shocker to me, and that they were all sitting and she was giving them notes and going through stuff. Here, I think it would have worked out a little differently. You know, I could see there it was, the kids were a little bit more responsible. Yeah. And I think that maybe they had been taught different responsibilities, given those different leadership roles. I think here in the U.S., a leadership role is so different. To me, when I think about a child that's a leader in the classroom, they're showing their leadership through their academics, and that they're sitting there and they're getting everything that the teacher is giving as a sponge. But there it's different, that you're doing what's expected even when no one else is looking. So that's totally different for me.
Wow. You said this year you went to Ghana with 8 teachers, and what were their experience? Because you went with the teachers from different schools and different areas of the United States, and you all came together and went to organize this program over there. How were the other teachers? How were their expectations? You see, I don't know whether some had been to Ghana or to Africa before, or this was the first time that they went, and the cultural differences and everything. How can you sum it up for us?
Well, I just want to start off by saying God is truly amazing, because I went a year or so ago with the Fulbright Scholarship, and some of the ladies that went with me, the teachers that went with me, they decided to come and to be a part of this program. So we knew how it worked with the other programs, so it made it easy for this program. And they were willing to really help. But the ladies that were also chosen to go with us this time, they were such team players that when we were giving our workshop, no one was left behind. Everyone worked together as a team, and it spoke volume. That it made it work out because of the teamwork that everyone did. It wasn't just my program, it wasn't your program. Everybody took ownership of the program. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that everyone comes back. I know that several of them do want to come back this year to help. Yes. And I appreciate them so much. They were a godsend.
Yes. And then when we have the opportunity to interview them, I mean, with their experience, you can tell they are even telling their friends to be part of what next year's program. So, and again, we are inviting everybody. This time, we're trying to find every means to make sure that, you know, we have as more teachers that we can take with us. But again, if you don't come quick to get into that system, it's going to be a lot to, you know. So please register and get yourself in now before we decide to, you know, take some people out.
Because what I want to explain to people, there is a $50 application fee, but the application fee goes back into the transportation and the lodging.
Exactly.
It's nothing that the center keeps for itself. It's so that we can use that to go towards the transportation and for housing.
Yes.
Interesting. So you've been talking about registration, and so you are planning another trip, but the year is almost at the end. We are almost at the end of the year. So when do you intend putting the next program together?
We will be going to Ghana June the 11th through July the 2nd, 2020.
Okay.
We have put out an email to friends and family asking them to share the application, because we get a lot of our participants from word of mouth by sharing. If a person is interested and you hear this podcast, please do not hesitate getting in contact with one of us, because we would love to interview you and hopefully for you to become a part of this organization to go over. Again, the dates are June the 11th through July the 2nd, 2020.
Also, you're planning to head on June the 11th through July 2nd. That will be like a 3-week program.
Yes.
So we intend. And when you do this, how many of these days are you going to use it for training, and then how many days are we going? Because if you get there, you have to see some things too.
Right.
Yeah, coming into the
Monday through Wednesday, we actually go and we do our workshop, and we use the other days, Thursday through Sunday, to do field trips for the teachers. But sometimes, depending on what our cause is, we may go back on a Thursday to visit a classroom to give those teachers an opportunity to actually go in and to see some of the teachers actually working with the kids, getting to talk to the kids. And there is a portion that we use where the teachers interview some of the kids, and they ask various questions about what they're receiving from their teacher, how their teacher is teaching them, and what would they like for their teachers to do more. So we try to get their opinion with a lot of the, you know, how they feel.
Yeah, that's really awesome, because like, you know, to do, they're working with the teachers and the students, so they see what's going on with the students and what's going on with the teachers, so that they can, you know, use that, what they are lacking, to help them to, you know, fill in those blanks. So it's really, really awesome. And beside that, apart from the teaching and all that, we're having fun too. We're going to places, we're visiting very interesting places. And this time it's gonna be really fun. This year was great, but next year is gonna be greater. So, you know, they should put in mind, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and, you know, a lot of things, you know, places to visit, and a lot of things to, you know, to expect.
You're watching live on Facebook and listening to the Voice of the Nation. And tonight we have here the CEOs or the founders of Center for the Transatlantic Leadership and Progressive Studies, Dr. Williams and Mr. Barry. And they have been telling us about their programs in Ghana. And if you are really interested to be part of this program, please get in touch with Dr. Williams and Mr. Barry Murphy. At the end of the program, I'll put their telephone numbers out so that the earlier you join it, the better, because the Center for Transatlantic Leadership and Progressive Studies are planning another trip to go to Ghana. We have here Dr. Williams and Mr. Murphy. Do you, like you say, you plan to visit 2020? Do you plan to visit with educators again and
Yes.
replicate the same program that you did the last time you went? And this time, I think that you said the Weija community have accepted you, have welcomed you. Is it going to be the same Weija community, or is it going to be another community?
Well, it is going to be Weija also, because we're doing a longitudinal study with them. But we also are going to incorporate.
Yes. So we go to Weija to see the feedback, you know, what we did, so make sure everything. But we already get a blueprint already anyway. So just to stop by to make sure that, you know, what they're saying is that what's happening. Okay, then we'll be going to Takoradi.
Okay.
On the western part of Ghana, where most
the best comes from the west. So you're going to.
We're going to spend a week in Takoradi, and then we go to Asamoah Kese.
Okay.
Yes, that's the eastern part, and you know, the best part is I went to Asamoah Kese Secondary School too. You know,
so you want your school to be part of the program.
Exactly. If I have this opportunity, because I mean, like I was talking with the teachers, I was like, I appreciate them so much. You know, they am from Ghana, but you know, God laid, I'll say, on doctor's heart that this is the place. You know, I'm like, okay, that's the best place we have, because I'm from there too. So I mean, for us to also go there to be a blessing, I know they will be.
Maybe if doctor really checks her DNA, she will know that.
Oh, she already knows. She knows.
The root comes from Ghana. That's why
from there.
The ancestors are calling her to be there. But thank you. You're watching live on Facebook and listening to Voice of the Nation, Answers with Barry. And tonight I'm stepping in, Mr. Richard, stepping in for Barry, and interviewing the founder and co-founders of the Center for Transatlantic Leadership and Progressive Studies here tonight in Atlanta. You are listening to the Voice of the Nation on TuneIn Radio and watching us live on Facebook. Doctor, Dr. Stella is not here.
Right.
Was she with you all on your last trip?
Yes, she was.
And since you came back, how has the response of the teachers that you went with? You know, you went with them, they did what they have to do, they did a little bit of sightseeing and came back. How did it dawn on them? When they came and they told other teachers what they seen? Because I know most of these teachers haven't been there, or even if they have been there, they haven't been in the classroom to see exactly what goes on in the classroom. But when they told their other teachers, colleague here, how did they react and how was their response? Are they willing to go with you all? Oh,
yes.
I think that it was a positive response.
Yes.
Barry has been interviewing with the participants from our last venture to Ghana. And I think that it was very positive.
All the response are very positive, and they're telling their friends. And you know, in my interview, I even asked them to mention, and some have 2 friends that they are ready to go with us, and they have, I guess, I'm going with their husbands, and you know, so the whole package, everybody is invited. But it was a very good feedback that, you know.
So it was a very positive,
very positive feedback.
Venture.
And also a little bit thing unique about I know a lot of people are doing this, but a little bit unique things about what we do is there are some places that even nobody know about those places, and there are some things that they learn that nobody learned. Like, you know, in Ghana, people see just women to be always the queen. We have kings. That also, you know, we have some family members who are also part of what we're doing back home, making sure everything is straight up, that they also tell us about the history about, you know, about Achimtafo, where I'm from, you know. So we have a king who is a woman, and it's a little bit unique, and you know, all this are going to be part of
So,
what.
so that is the tourism part of the program.
Exactly.
So we will come there. We will come
You know,
there.
so
We will come there to the tourism
I know a lot of
part.
people are doing a lot of stuff, but ours, it's unique.
Okay, okay. So, from what I just heard, you have this program goes on from Monday through Wednesday, and then
Monday through Wednesday, Thursday, depending if we go back to the schools.
okay,
But we try to, if we go back to the school on a Thursday, by noon, we try to cut it off so that it's important for the teachers to also receive a field trip,
okay.
so that they can have some type of cultural awareness, so that they can immerse themselves in the culture.
That's where I was coming to, because I see that in language, or in the English language, they say all work and no play make
Yes.
Jack and Diane. So usually you need to make provision for a little bit of free time.
Yes.
And that's what I was going to talk about. Like at your last visit, what did you do mostly with your free times?
Well, we start at 9 and we're normally finished by 2 p.m. So it still leaves time in that day that they can go out and do stuff. But I try to have it where towards the weekend that we're doing something as a group. We're hoping to link up this time with a tour company, so that the teachers will have an opportunity to sign up to pay for trips that they will be interested in, and that they will know in advance how much these trips will cost, so that they can prepare for it.
Yes, and I would like to go a little bit about the tourism side, because it's going to be a little bit more than this year. There's going to be like a culture history tour. It's going to be like African dance and drumming training. They're going to be like, you know, naming ceremonies, because you know, I know Dr. Williams already have, when I interview all of them, some like Akuya, you know, Kojo, and now I know their name. So there's gonna be naming ceremony. They're gonna be the door of return and reconnect to our roots, you know, and then we're also gonna come out with investment opportunities. So they're not just going there for because.
So looking at what you just told me, this will be part of the Jack's Play part of it. It's not, And I really, like I usually say when I meet my brothers and sisters here, and I tell them, "Have you been to the motherland?" And they say no. I say, well, I don't know how to explain it to you. I will say anything, you wouldn't understand it till you go there yourself and experience it. And this year, I think in Ghana, they were having the year of return. A whole lot of festivity was going on. Hopefully, by the time we get there next year with the Center for Transatlantic Leadership and Progressive Studies, by the time we get there, there will be still activities that might be in place. And when you were talking before this program was set up, you made mention about an Albright program that you were part of. Is this your program here being sponsored by somebody or grant from somebody?
No.
So
no.
Looking at it, if you say no, you don't even want me to finish my question.
No, because I mentioned the Fulbright scholarship because that's how I got intrigued. That's how I got interested in this.
Okay.
I went with the Fulbright scholarship to Ghana, and we were there for 5 weeks.
Okay.
And one of the things that we were charged by the person who was over the program, what could you do to change the lives in Ghana? What could you do? And coming back after thinking about it and trying to see what skills that I have that I could take back, that's how we came up with the center.
So have you gotten in touch with the person who was over that program to give you a little bit of guidelines? Because now you have this program. You see, I know a lot of people are willing to go, but maybe financially they can't afford the whole thing. If we have something like a bit of a grant somewhere, or I know there are a lot of grants and scholarships around that maybe they can look at the Center for Transatlantic Leadership and Progressive Studies to see, okay, what this center is doing is something, or do you need to write before acknowledgement?
We're working on it.
Okay.
And all these things are in the pipeline. But I mean, we're still waiting, but we're still not going to wait till, you know, when it's ready, we're going to use the apps. Like up to now, as I'm speaking, if it's not ready, we still do what we're doing. We, you know, put ourselves together and we will let it happen. But we are on it, working on it seriously.
But I wanted to add to what he's saying. There's also a buying in process to what you're doing. When I went with the Fulbright scholarship, there was still a portion that I had to pay to show my allegiance. And it's the same thing with this. I was so passionate about us going that I took on the charges of whatever was needed. But it's important that the teachers know, if you're interested in coming, your plane fare, your airfare, that's something that you would have to pay. What the Center for Transatlantic is going to try to do, and to raise funds through donations and sponsorship, we're trying to have it where we could take care of your lodging and your transportation. But the airfare, it will be the teacher's responsibility to pay.
You're watching live on Facebook, Center for Transatlantic Leadership and Progressive Studies, with the co-founder and the founder of this organization, Dr. Williams and Mr. Barry, here on the Voice of the Nation here in Atlanta. Coming to you, you can listen to us on TuneIn or watch us live on Facebook. We take a short break and we'll be back with you in a minute. You're watching live on Facebook and listening live on TuneIn Radio, Voice of the Nation. This is Richard standing in for Answers with Barry, and I have tonight here with me Dr. Dorothy Williams of the Center for Transatlantic Leadership and Progressive Studies, and Mr. Barry Murphy, a co-founder of this organization. They are teachers trying to bring something over to us on the motherland. And tonight we've had them and we've been interviewing with them. They have a program coming up this year. They'll be traveling again to Ghana on June the 11th through July the 2nd. So if you are please interested, get in touch with the Voice of the Nation, Mr. Barry Murphy and Dr. Dorothy Williams. I'm going to put their telephone numbers out. Dr. Williams' number is 404-840-5884. Dr. Williams' number is 404-840-5884. And Mr. Murphy's number is 404-988-5691. Mr. Murphy's number is 404-988-5691. Registration will start in January, so if you are really interested to be part of this program and organization, please get in touch. If you are not able to reach any of them, just go to the Voice of the Nation and we will get you in touch with them. Doctor, we are about to bring this program to an end, and you say shout out to some of the teachers that you went with. What are their names? Because they
Maya, Patrice,
Dr. Onekwa, Patrice,
Shane.
Dr. Barbara.
big shout out to you
Shana,
all.
Deborah,
Miss Deborah. I mean, okay, Miss Deborah, Shana, Barbara, Dr. Barbara, Dr. Onekwa, Maya, Dr. Williams, Dr. Stella, Barry Murphy, Mr. Akins.
Great. Doc, we are almost at the end of the program, and so at the end of our interview, what would you like to tell people who will be interested to join us, people who will be interested to contribute, people who will be interested even to sponsor such programs?
going to Ghana is one of the best experiences I've ever had. And I know that if you as a teacher would like to go, it will be a great experience for you. It will be something that you will be able to tell your kids, your grandkids, and their kids. It has been so rewarding. The connects that you make, just so that you could see Africa for yourselves. One of the things that I thought going to Africa, I was going to see all these wild animals and everything else, and just it was nothing like that. It's more earthy. It's more people wanting to live, people wanting to share, people wanting to give. The hearts are so big. I've gone to Africa and I've fallen in love. I never thought that it would open my heart the way that it has. I know that it's not my first journey and it won't be my second. This is what I plan to do forever.
Yes.
I plan to come back at least once I retire, and I'm looking so forward to retirement that I plan to go to Africa at least 3 to 4 times a year. I would love to build a school.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that our organization wants to do, is to build a school. So we're making those lifelong plans.
Yes.
That's going to go on and on.
And to me, I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Williams, Dr. Stella, and also those who make this thing happen the first time that they visited Ghana. I'm really proud to be part of what is going on, and also telling the other teachers who want to be part of this to hurry, because I mean, if not, it's not enough in our space. So we already telling the old teachers that we one way to let us know definitely if they want to go, so that you know, now they are part of the family. So we look up to them first before we look up to any other person. You know, I'm not saying other person they are not important, but these are the family that we have now. So we would like to, you know, see them first before we look up to anybody.
Well, they're gonna go first.
Yes.
But we're gonna also add to this journey that we're taking. We're gonna already have 8 participants who are going. We're planning to take at least 20 25 people.
Yes.
So we have the room. But we're looking for people who have between 3 to 5 years of experience to come and to share their best practices through professional development with these teachers. But it's also where you're able to gain knowledge also and skills. So
and we also have a team back home that, you know, we make sure you are secure, you are in a good hands. And you know, the other time I was doing the interview, I said we have doctors, we have nurses, we have pastors, we have all the crew. So it's like, you know, anything that you need, we have it here with the center. We, you know, we number one. Okay, and when it comes to that, the tourist side, there's gonna be a lot of fun. You know, I just mentioned what we're gonna do, and then there's a lot of business opportunities. So we will look up to that too. So to our followers, what we say is thank you. Yeah, you keep on praying for us, support us in everything that we do. I know we put up GoFundMe out there. Anything make a difference. $1, $2, just put in something. You understand what I mean? To appreciate, especially the Ghanaians and all, appreciate what this organization is doing, because it's not just about the teachers, but we have a lot of things that we do behind the scene. You know, we have a lot of surprises coming. We're about to start going to school and do some surprise, but we ain't going to tell people. But when we do it, before we say it, because we don't want to say it before we do it, right? So in our center, we got a lot of things in the pipeline. So to all our listeners, to our followers, to all center fans, all we're saying, we thank you. We thank you for your prayers. We thank you for your support, advice, and everything. And again, Dr. Stella couldn't make it, but she also one of us. So her number, I know Mr. Akins will let y'all know her number, so that if any question, anything, you can also email her at centerfortransatlantic@gmail.com. You know, and you know,
and they also have a website with Center for Transatlantic.
Yeah, we do, but it's still in the maintenance.
Okay,
so.
if it's under maintenance, we understand that.
Yeah, so when you go there, it's like, but it's still in progress, you know.
Well, a world without a vision will perish.
Yes.
And this is from the Center for Transatlantic Leadership and Progressive Studies. You're watching live on Facebook and listening live on TuneIn, Voice of the Nation, which has brought you this program tonight. And then we would like to thank Dr. Williams, Dr. Dorothy Williams, and Mr. Barry Murphy. But Dr. Stella, wherever you are, we know you are not here, but you are here with us in spirit.
Yes.
And thank you very much for everything that you are doing. And we will do everything in this station to give this center the greatest exposure that we can ever give. And we thank you for honoring our invitation and coming to be with us and giving us this interview. Thank you, Dr. Williams, and thank you, Mr. Barry. We'll bring our program to an end, and thank you very much.
Thank you for having us, and thank you, Mr. Richard, for being our host. We really appreciate it. And to our listeners, he's coming with us too. So, hey, it means
I'll be the tourist guy. Yeah, now, was it?